The colon doesn't work that way. At the end of the week, you've had 21 meals, but only 7 eliminations. Where are the other 14 meals? They're inside that impacted colon that we just showed you. So you had better pay attention to what I'm talking about today, because this information could save a life. Now I have a question. If you have a disorder like any of these that I just went over, all those symptoms, would you opt to A, take a medication that would bring you quick relief and remove the symptoms, or B, start on a program that gets down to the root of your problem and relieves symptoms but works at a slower pace? Now, if your answer is A, and I know it's A because action speaks louder than words. That's why drugs are so popular. They give you that quick effect, and everybody likes that quick effect. But guess what? Pain and discomfort can be your friend, because they let you know when a problem is going on in your body. With a lot of things like lupus, I was diagnosed with lupus back in '92. I started doing this colon cleanse I'm telling you about and rebuilding my immune system. Lupus doesn't live here anymore, and I thank God every day for leading me in this direction. But at any rate, had I just taken the drugs to cover up the symptoms, then I would have walked on and let the underlying problem, which is parasites, eat away at my organs. I'd probably have ended up on dialysis with all type of bowel obstructions. I would have ended up with blood vessel obstructions, all types of problems. I can't tell you the things that I've seen in all the clients that I've dealt with who have lupus. And I just give people information. What they do with it is up to them. But the education, it is worth a lot. And guess what? If you happen to be in a lot of pain, you can do both. You can actually take your medication to get you through that moment, but still you can also work on it naturally so that you don't have to live with it. I always ask the person, if your medication is doing you so much good, why do you have to take it every day for the rest of your life? Think about that. Why do you have to take it every day? I have a lot of people come and say, could you really help me out here, because I've been on hypertension medicine for 15 years. I don't like the side effects and I don't want to be addicted. What if we should have a breakdown in the government and you can't get your medication? I think about that with people with asthma. They have to use the bronchodilators to open up the bronchial passages. What if you can't get to one? Guess what? The good news is, for every disease or disorder, there is a natural cure. And for every drug, there is a natural alternative. You can clean the colon out, take lobelia, mullein, or a number of other herbal combinations, fenugreek and thyme if you have sinuses. It's no more than mucus up in the sinus cavities. Asthma, bronchitis, no more than 5 to 15 pounds of mucus in the bronchial passages or in the lower respiratory system. Cleanse, get that mucus out, rebuild your immune system or your respiratory system, and guess what? You can get rid of the drugs and live drug-free. They're always talking about a drug-free America. Now let me tell you some of the benefits of colon cleansing. Colon cleansing actually corrects your eating habits, because once you start cleaning your colon, you find you don't crave the things that are really not good for you anymore. You might have a taste of them every now and again, but you really won't want it. I have people call up all the time and say, you know, since I started on that cleanse, I really don't even have a taste for barbecue anymore. And I said, well, good, because pork is the one meat you cannot cook well enough to kill the parasites. See, I have an article here, and it says, boy hospitalized with worm in brain. And it says here that it was a 10-year-old boy, and he suffered a seizure which was caused by a worm, aka parasite. Not uncommon. It can be prevented by washing one's hands thoroughly and making sure all meat is very well cooked before it's served. Well, you can cook the meat well with chicken and beef, but when it comes time to pork, you can burn it to a crisp. The parasites are still moving. That's one meat you want to leave alone if you want to keep yourself free of parasites. Now it says the worm eggs enter the human bloodstream through the intestines. That's why they say the key to healthy living is a clean, healthy intestinal system. Keep your colon clean and you'll be healthy. I know a lot of people don't make that connection. Some people say, well, I have arthritis. What's that got to do with my colon? Why? Because you absorb the nutrients or the waste through your intestinal system. If you have a lot of waste in your system, it's going to get into the bloodstream and it'll settle into your joints. The parasites will eat away at it and cause inflammation and swelling. Isn't that what it is? That's what happened with me with lupus. So instead of me taking something like a cortisone shot to kill the pain, no, I opted to clean the colon, kill the parasites, and rebuild my immune system. What a novel idea. You can do the same thing if you're on insulin and you have diabetes. That's parasites in the pancreas. Why do you think the pancreas breaks down and it doesn't promote the insulin like it used to? The answer is not just to take the insulin, although I know you need the insulin, but I wouldn't want to be on it for life. Why? Because the doctors don't tell you that insulin crystallizes in your bloodstream and it actually cuts off circulation. That's right. Insulin is behind arteriosclerosis. So you've got to be real careful on what you do. If they told us that, then we would probably know to do better. So I see here my time is winding down. I'm going to get in as much information as I possibly can, though, so that we can get through with a lot of things. But if not, you just tune in or call me. I'm going to continue this because I've got a lot of information on parasites. But I want to tell you what else Colon Cleanse does for you besides correcting your eating habits. It curbs the craving for unhealthy food, and it increases your fiber, your energy, your circulation, your mental clarity. It also decreases stress. And it also begins the reversal of all of those symptoms that I talked about. You can begin to reverse each and every one of those just by cleaning out the system. Because guess what? A clogged colon clogs you physically and mentally. So if you want to think better, be clear, and a lot of people I've noticed have even a better disposition after they clean their colon. Because waste and parasites are behind a lot of disorders, especially the ones that they say there's no cure for. Do you know what the cause of cancer is? Well, the medical term definition for it is a crab-like growth and waste in a degenerative system. How do you get that crab-like growth? That's parasites. And where does that waste come from? All the food that is left in the colon. If you want to avoid colon cancer, if cancer runs in your family, get everybody in the family to start cleaning their colon and avoid it, because we have what I call a wait and see society. People say, oh, well, I don't need to clean my colon. There's nothing wrong with me. I feel fine. If I had $1 for everybody who I saw that felt fine, were diagnosed with cancer, and they were out of here in 6 months, I'd be rich. You can't always go on how you look. Sure, the body is an outward appearance of what's going on internally, but sometimes you can have so much waste and parasitic action going on that you can't even see. What do they say? Out of sight is out of mind. So you really can't see. You've probably seen an x-ray of your skeletal system, your bones, but when was the last time you saw what your colon looks like? What your gallbladder looks like? What your appendix looks like? If you could have seen what they look like before they removed your gallbladder, just because you had gallstones when you could have done a 2-day gallbladder flush, then maybe you could have saved that gallbladder. A lot of people aren't aware you can do a 2-day gallbladder flush and save your gallstones. But if you have had your gallbladder removed, now you need some type of food enzymes because you don't have the ability of your gallbladder to help digest your food. And that is a part of your digestive system. So if you don't have a gallbladder, call me up. Call me at the number at the bottom of the screen. I'll tell you how you can digest your food. Now I'm going to read just a little bit from an article called A Colon Therapist Speaks. This is a lady named Marge, very nice lady who does colonics. That's where they lay you out on a table. And like I said, don't think because you go get a colonic that you're completely clean. That's what I thought 20 years ago when I got a colonic. I'm 5'8". I was only about 125 pounds. Very athletic, and she told me I was full of waste when I got a colonic, but do you know I walked away that day thinking I was clean? I thought I could take a shortcut. I didn't have to really cleanse, because the cleanse that I talk about, it's a 90-day cleanse. Some people say 90 days. I got to cleanse for 90 days. I say, wait a minute. How old are you? And they tell me 40. I said, well, you got 39 years worth of waste. I don't think 9 months is a bad, 3 months, is a bad trade-off. 90 days is not long. What is 3 months after you've abused your body for 39 years? I give you a year off for mother's milk, but it's not long. And I always tell people who think it's too much, it's really not much at all. If your car part breaks down on you and they give you that bill for $500, you'll complain, but you'll come up with that money. So you'll replace that 2 or 3 times in your life. You only get one body. So I'm going to read just a little bit from A Colon Therapist Speaks. She asked the question, can worms affect people's health? Marge says, people who are the sickest, those are the ones I get the most worms out of.